Hi everybody, this is Mint Rayum, and welcome to a video on raids. This is going to be a basic video. If you already know how to raid, there will be probably nothing new for you to learn here. But this will present the basic how-tos of raiding. So the first question is, what is a raid? Well, you know that in your council hall, you have a maximum number of troops that you can send in a march. You may or may not have hit that point yet. My itty bitty council hall here, level 11, can only hold 25,000 troops. Now, even when you upgrade that to level 21, it can still only hold 125,000 troops. And you can obviously increase that. VIP will buff that for you. There's also other boosts that you can apply that will add 25, 50, or 100% more troops to that march. But there's still a maximum size to the number of troops that you can send in a single attack with your hero. That maximum number is 262,500 currently. So if you wanted to attack someone who has more troops than that, you would lose, unless you could somehow send more troops. And that's the point of a raid. A raid allows you to combine with other people in your order and all send troops at the same time to attack that same target. So rather than counting it as several small attacks, which is what would happen if you tried to send them individually, it will count them as one single very large attack. So how do raids happen? They're organized in this building over here, which you may or may not have built yet. It's called your military camp. I notice my level 1 military camp down at the bottom here only allows me to put 12,500 troops in a raid. If I want to send a bigger raid, I'd build a bigger military camp. You'll also notice that the military camp requires an extra resource, per se, as you're building it, a royal edict, which is available in the order store, or you'll find as these get to higher levels, they're nearly impossible to get that many edicts. You can just build this building with gold. So when this is level 21, the maximum raid size that you can send is 1 million troops. That's a lot of troops. So let's take a look at what this looks like. If I want to send a raid, I'm going to go find some tasty target out here on the kingdom map. Oh look, let's target this big ugly jerk next to me. Now, you've obviously seen this. You can choose to attack or spy espionage on this nasty neighbor of yours, or you can choose to raid them. When you raid them, you're given a choice. How long until you want the raid to start? Now, obviously, you generally don't want it to take 8 hours for your raid to start. There would be reasons you might want to choose that, but if you're seriously going to raid a target with a lot of troops, you're going to want it to start somewhat soon, but you need to make sure you give the people who are participating in your raid enough time to get there, which is why you may want to choose 30 minutes or an hour if people are traveling far. But most of the time, they're just going to teleport next to you and send their troops, and you're going to want to get this done quickly. Let's say 5 minutes. Now, you're going to choose who's going to lead the raid. So this is you and your troops, and you must send at least one troop. But bear in mind that when your troops are dead, the raid will disband. Now, generally raids are only good for one use anyway. I mean, they attack the target, and then it disbands, and all the remaining living troops go back to their respective warlords. But if for some reason somehow your troops were to die, then the raid would go home early and not launch. So let's say I'm going to put my whole army into this raid. Woo, 10 strikers. You can now form this raid, and you'll notice near the bottom here, it is going to start in 5 minutes. And you can also see here, I have room for 12,490 more troops. There's also this timer here, this 25 seconds. That's how long it's going to take my own troops to join my own raid. It's kind of interesting, huh? I guess. Okay, so you see this timer now, this 4-minute 50-second timer, and you can see here that you're waiting for more troops to join your raid. Obviously, you cannot join your own raid. Unfortunately, if you had a double hero or something, you can't send more troops to your own raid. You have to wait for somebody else to join you. Also, at this point, it'd be nice to point out that there is now a red, down here, I can't really tap or anything, down here near the bottom in your order menu, there's a little red 1. That means that there's one raid that your order is currently hosting. So, while I'm hosting this raid here, if someone else were to join me, oh, hello, someone else. It took them a few seconds to get here, and I guess you know what, let me show you what happens on the main screen here. I don't know if you saw them leaving there. I'm up here in the blue. Whoops. When the troops join or leave the raid, you watch them marching on the map. Okay, they are now in my raid. And this raid, as you can see, now has 20 participants. Woohoo! We're going to go get that big nasty neighbor. And it launches in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I think that's really all there is to tell you about this part of the raiding process. If you're not the person launching the raid, let's show you the other side of this. I want to cancel this raid. Yes. Now everybody's going home. If you're not the person who's hosting the raid, then it looks just a little different, but it may be worth showing you. Bear with me just a second here. Okay, oh look, there's one down on my order menu again. Someone must be hosting a raid. Awesome, on that same nasty neighbor. Okay, so this is what this looks like now. This is my neighbor hosting this raid, and I can choose to participate in the raid with whatever I like, 10 strikers. And it is very important that you send your hero on your raid, and that you send your hero fully ready for war. The right gear, the right skills, attack and defense buffs. You've got to have maximum buffs on that hero to apply to your troops. Otherwise, there's no point in raiding the guy with 1 million troops. Like, if you don't need to be fully buffed, then you probably didn't need 1 million troops. If you forget to put your hero's equipment on, you will have to recall your troops, gear your hero at home, and resend them. And every time you send troops to a raid, your shield will drop, and you will have to put it back up again. So it's best to make sure you've got everything situated before you send the first time. There go my troops off to the raid, 8 seconds away. And then there they'll sit. You can see them here in the reinforcement area. Right, they're garrisoned at this other player's house, but they are participating in that raid. You can see all the raid participants here. If someone else were to join, someone else, you can see them down below. And that raid will launch in 3 minutes if I don't cancel it first. And they will march against that big mean guy who keeps taking all of my resources. And then when the raid's done, the troops will walk home, whichever ones are still alive. So hopefully that's a good introduction to what a raid is, and hopefully that makes you feel a little more comfortable playing around with what's going on. Thanks for watching. Bye.